go to TRiO and they'll help me out with whatever I need or whatever questions I have around the university.
It's like your little support system for the rest of the time you're in college.
Probably been the most useful thing for me is the access to resources that I probably wouldn't have found out about otherwise.
I had been out of school for 20 years and came back very nervous, and within a few weeks of utilizing their services, I knew that I could do this.
TRiO is a program that's funded by the U.S. Department of Education, and our primary purpose is to help students stay in college.
If a student has a disability, they're eligible for TRiO. If a student comes from a low-income household, which is 150% of low-income standards, they're eligible for the program. And finally, if a student is first generation, meaning that neither parent completed a 4-year college degree, those are the 3 things we need to know.
The primary goal of the program is for students to graduate from college, for disadvantaged students to graduate from college. So all of the services that we offer are basically intended to help students get closer to the final goal of graduating from a 4-year institution.
I think about my own experience as being that first-generation college student, and I wish that there had been somebody like me or anybody else on our staff that I could have gone to and felt really comfortable with.
When I took classes in the fall, I enrolled in the study skills class, which was really useful for me to get confidence going back into school after being out of school for a few years.
It's a class that introduces strategies that are based on the way people learn and remember and absorb information and comprehend over a long period, like a 4-year college degree.
It's really informal. Like they will give you several different note-taking methods, for example, or presentation methods. You know, how to write papers, how to study, etc. And then, you know, obviously there's not one that works. There's several that work, but one that works for each person.
I learned 5 different types of note-taking, which was very important because I didn't know what my style was.
And carry those forward through their education as a way of supporting it, making it more efficient, more valuable, and more rewarding.
Academic advising done well includes exposing a student to identifying what their own interests are, what they think their abilities are, and you begin to try to find a fit between an academic major and a student's interest, and that turns into a career interest. So we try hard with the students we work with to help them identify a reason for being in college.
We can help them look long range, so it's not just getting a set of classes and saying, yeah, that looks good, go for it. We look at classes over a period of time and get to know the student.
Until I decided what my major was, I used TRiO advising exclusively. I would go and map out a year plan. At one point I mapped out a 4-year plan to make sure that I was taking the right credits, to make sure I was getting enough upper division.
But there's a little bit more of a personal relationship and a little bit more of a care to make sure that it's done for the students within the program. And that's what's really great about the whole program in itself.
Advising is one of my favorite things to do because it's a chance to work one-on-one with someone. I try to make it safe for them so they can ask any question they want. So I like to sit down and advising. And it's academic advising, but we also do a broader type of advising where we try to make sure they know the resources that they might need for their specific situation. I try to make sure they really understand their general education requirements so that when they leave us to their next advisor in their major, they don't have to worry about that.
So a student can look at our schedule, meet with us, and request a tutor, and then we introduce that student to the center, and then they just drop in as often as they need to, and we encourage students to take homework up there, and not go just because they have questions, but because they know that they can complete their homework in an environment where there's help immediately if they need it.
I'm doing German tutoring right now. Last semester I had math tutoring, and you just go into a little room and they're there to help, and they're very willing to, make it to where you can learn. I'm pretty sure that the only reason I passed my math class is because of the math tutoring that I had last year. It was very helpful. I ended up actually passing the class with a really high B, and I was very proud of myself.
My first year, I was taking Math 100. I hadn't taken math in, I don't know, 7 years, something like that. So it had been a while, and so I wanted to make sure that I had some support there. And my tutor was just great. I mean, he was really helpful, easy to work with, really flexible about when he could meet with me.
I could bring in my test material and they would either create similar questions and we would go over them until I had it down, or we would go over my actual test prep that the professor had given and we would go through it until all of my questions were answered. I would not have been as successful as I am without it, and for that I am eternally grateful. Any areas that you might have questions about, TRiO is the perfect place to start because that's what they have is answers.
It's really changed what my college career here at Montana is, and I don't think it would have been the same without TRiO. I mean, it really was part of the foundation for the experience and the success that I've been able to have here.
It's a program that attracts people who really enjoy working with students.
So it's a lot more personal attention, and I think it helps that our population is so small. We can give that attention to each student.
And you can just go into your TRiO advisor and, you know, be like, this doesn't make sense, or I need a tutor, or just any problem that you have, and they will help you find the answers and to fix the problem.
That's kind of really important to have someone else who knows what they're doing, that's not a student, that can help you out.
It's a great thing to be able to help students.
It can give one extra piece to the puzzle, and that piece may make a difference as to whether they graduate or not.
As an individual working at TRiO, I've seen students bloom, you know, and take off and discover fields they may never have gone into and be successful at them.
They can do it. That's the message that I hope that students understand from TRiO, is that they can really do it. If they want it bad enough, they can do it.